might say Huawei has given the wrong name. This device should not have the name Ascend Mate, but Ascend Monster, because this is the biggest one I've ever seen. It's 6.1 inches size, or let's call it 76 by 134 millimeters. I'm sorry. That's the biggest I ever seen, even bigger than the Dell Streak for, I don't know, it was some 2010 or whatever, that had, I guess it was 5 inches and some 80 by 150 millimeters. Forget about that. Here we're talking about almost 86 by 164 millimeters, and it's a weight of 198 grams. That's a heavy one, even if you can grab it without any problem with one hand. It's especially because of that curved back, and by the way, we're talking about 7.2 millimeters on the edges and some 10.2 millimeters in the middle and a little bit more on the lens over here. But regularly, or in the average, I guess we come to some 9.6 millimeters. But nevertheless, 6.1 inches display. That's the biggest one you can find at the market right now. That's 88% above the average. It's a great one. But nevertheless, even if the battery is included permanently, so you can't remove it, nevertheless it has 4050 milliampere hours. So you're coming to a great value of 40 milliampere hours per square millimeter display, and the display is the biggest power consumption. So this is a great relation. It's about 12% above the average. I mean, the relation between the display size and battery size. So this is a good one. That's no problem at all. But we have another problem, and let me go a little bit closer to show you, because we're talking about a resolution of 720 by 1200 pixels only. So you come into a pixel density of 231 ppi only. That's 41% below the average. Nevertheless, you can see, oh, let me go like this, that you can see it very close. You can read and see almost those tiny texts like this one, or over here. Yeah, here we go. You can read them without any problem. That's not the problem, but nevertheless, it's not that multimedia device or video device some might have expected because of that big screen. The resolution is not really, let me call it like this, the best one for looking videos or playing games. That's a little bit that problem over here. It's a working device. It's for showing presentations. That's why we call it, I don't know, smartphone, smartlet, phonelet, phablet, whatever. That mixture of tablet and phone. And here we are with that working device, of course. Nevertheless, it has a quad-core processor with 1.5 gigahertz. It's the same one like in the Huawei Ascend P2, that K3V2, but it has 2 GB of RAM, so double the RAM size like on the P2. So this one might be better in the benchmarks, because that P2 has been, yeah, a little bit disappointing. It's just the average, 100% exactly the average, and that's not a bad result, but nevertheless, from a quad-core processor, I always expect a little bit more. So we hope, or I hope at least, that this Ascend Mate will have a little bit better results in the benchmarks concerning this one. And by the way, on the back side, we have that camera with 8 megapixels photos and full HD, but no LTE, no dual cell HSDPI, just that plain UMTS HSDPI with 21 megabit per second, but NFC and Bluetooth 4.0. So it's a little bit, yeah, kind of compromise concerning the features, I guess, because to hold that price, that's with 479 euros from Huawei, and right now in the web I found it for some 400 euros without any contract, and that's a good price for a device with a display that size. So I guess that was the the thinking behind that decision to have no LTE, no dual say HSDPI, whatever. And the other problem I saw is we have a slot for a micro SD card on this side over here, and this one is for the micro SIM, of course. Here we go. So you can expand that internal memory officially up to 32 gigabyte, but in most cases a chip with 64 gigabyte will work too fine. That's no problem. But internal memory is 8 gigabyte. And now we go from that 8 gigabyte are left only 4.3 gigabyte for the user out of the box. So that's a net memory size 4.2 gigabyte and 4.3 gigabyte, and that's not a lot, especially because we are talking about Android 4.1.2. So if you might know that you can't remove your apps to the SD card anymore from Android 4 beginning, so you have a really big problem because you have to keep those 4.3 gigabyte for all your apps, for dates, for contacts, for messages, for whatever. So you can move only your photos and videos and music and PDFs, of course, Word documents, whatever you want, to the SD card, but not that system files like the apps, at least not at the moment, because you might know that Samsung just presented an update for the Galaxy S4, and with that one it's possible again to move apps to the SD card. So we see it is possible if the manufacturer is doing that, but at the moment you have to root your device, and that's nothing you should do if you're not a pro. So for regular people like you and me, it's not possible to move those apps over here at the moment. I hope Huawei will give an update too for that device so that this will be possible too over here, but I guess that will at least take some time. If it will come ever, we will see. And last thing I wanted to show you is that Emotion UI, how Huawei is calling it. If you know the P2 or other newer Huawei phones, you will know this one. But for those who don't, just a quick view over this one over here. That's the familiar home screens. And down here we have the buttons for back and home, and that's the task manager like we know it, but no button for the app launcher, for the menu. So this one is missing because Huawei is telling us you don't need all your icons twice, one in the menu and the app launcher and again on the home screens. That's insane. So we put all your icons and your apps onto the home screens. Here you now have folders like this one. You can move everything around just like you need it and edit everything, and that's enough. That's true, but on the other hand, you can't have that automatically, alphabetically sorted your icons, your apps. That's something missing, at least out of the box like this one. Of course, you can install your own app launcher, and there are hundreds of them, most, I guess, for free in the Android market, in Google Play, sorry. That's a new name. It's still, for me, the Android market, sorry. Android app market, Play, Google, whatever, you know what I mean. You find those app launches by the dozen, so that's not a problem. If you want to, you can install your own app launcher, but that's something you should know that you need it if you want that alphabetical sorted your icons for this one. All right, that's, I hope, enough for the first view on the Huawei Ascend Mate. It's available right now for, like I said, Huawei price is 479 euros, and at the moment we find it in the web for around about 400 euros without any contract. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you back soon.